Speaking of soft shoeing, some soft shoe cooning, and I don't know how you feel about this. I haven't asked you yet. I haven't asked you really in depth how you feel about this. But Floyd Mayweather is in the news because he made a statement about
Money team.
all lives matter.
He did.
He said all lives matter. It's not about black lives. It's not about the blue lives movement. All lives matter. He went further to say, it's as simple as when they tell you to do something, you do it. When you get pulled over, you do it. He also went further to say, if the police, when you're in trouble, you call the police. His hands are registered weapons. So as registered weapons, he has to call the police basically because he can't do what he want to do because he would get in trouble.
Right.
Then he would go to jail. Then to go even further, they asked him about Kaepernick because he brought up this whole all lives matter on itself. I think from watching the interview, it wasn't like he really brought it up. But anyway, continuing, he also went to the whole Kaepernick thing. He said basically.
He went hard on Kaepernick.
I
disagree. That's where I'm coming.
But he kind of said, this is what he said. He said because he really didn't go. He told him he needs to stand up and get the starting position. He said he agreed he said he didn't disagree with his movement, but he said he needs to stand up and get the starting position. But maybe something working because he's selling jerseys. All right. So with all that being said, go ahead and I will listen to what you have to say.
Okay. Mayweather said he said we should follow instructions like boxing. He made an analogy with
He didn't say boxing.
No. He said no. Okay, go to YouTube. It was a YouTube station that about boxing. He was talking about his boxers because he has boxers now.
Okay.
He had one of his boxers behind him, and he was repeatedly showing love to his boxer behind him. But he said, what I've learned from boxing and what people can take from boxing is you follow instructions. There is an order to it. And he said you follow the referee's instructions just like you follow the instructions of the police. That's what he said. Okay? And then he goes on to say, all lives matter, which is true.
Yes, massa. I'll follow your instructions,
exactly.
massa.
That's
yes,
how I
massa.
felt it.
Yes, massa.
But all lives do matter. But the thing is, if all lives matter, then there's a mutual respect.
Here's the whole thing about all lives matter. All lives matter is some white supremacist shit.
No, it's not.
It's some white supremacist shit to take you away from the fact that Black Lives Matter started. Black Lives Matter started because of Trayvon Martin. What was the first thing that what would you do when people are uprising?
Mm-hmm.
You throw some bullshit into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
All lives matter. But
all lives don't matter.
But when you say that, you take away all the focus.
No, you don't.
You do. You take away all the focus from what the movement of Black Lives Matter meant. So when you throw all lives matter in there, you're taking out everything, and you're making a discussion, and you're dividing the two. Because here's what happens.
I feel you.
When you say all lives matter, here's what happens. It becomes a distraction of now, why is there black on black crime? Mm-hmm. As if there's not white on white crime.
Right.
See, it gives them a way to throw all types of dumb shit in there to get you off of focus of Black Lives Matter.
I feel you. When I say all lives matter, it doesn't minimize the fact that African American people have been, oh my God, just pillaged and raped and just taken advantage of from this minute all the way back,
Did you see that?
400 years ago. I haven't seen that turn yet.
The
Birth of a Nation.
Great fucking movie, man. What are you waiting on? But
I gotta see it
have
because
you seen 13th on?
I have seen 13th on Netflix. Okay.
Dope. Check out
Dope.
13th. Check out 13. But
Because I had no. Anyway, check it out. Check it
no
out.
spoilers right now. Give you time to check it out. We'll talk about it on the next episode.
Netflix is a force.
Love
anyway,
it. Love
another
Netflix.
subject.
Netflix
I love Netflix.
Netflix let a lot of things get out there that people need to see, and I love the fact that they let 13th be a documentary.
13th.
Yeah.
Is powerful. So, anyway, long story short is, just because I say all lives matter doesn't minimize the struggle or anything that the African American has gone through. Okay. Now, in this situation, take this presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a force out here that affects black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and it's just an invisible hand that's not so invisible anymore thanks to social media that is an injustice to all people who don't have a certain amount of money. Okay? It's just us black folks, we get it double because of our melanated skin and the fact that we don't have the money. And then the internal problem is we can't unite
Well, let me tell you about
and
this
move as one. Look at it. And everybody, all us black folks know,
Well,
we can't move as one.
because there's a lot of code words that make us sure that we don't move as one. You know why?
Okay.
It is one of the biggest things, and this is why I'm not a supporter of either candidate. But it's because of certain code words that damn, I can't think of. It was in the 13th. My man actually spoke on it. But it's certain ways that they use words to kind of keep us in a certain place. Here's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody always asks, why was there an agenda for the LGBTQ?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there an agenda for Hispanics?
Mm-hmm.
There's an agenda for Asians.
Okay.
A lot of them keep their money together in their community, which we don't as black people. But here's one of the biggest things that always happens. I'm going to throw a shout out to Tariq Nasheed because he speaks on it heavily.
You're beating me in the shout out counter this week, but
I am, because I only got 2. But, and you got 3. But anyway, check the tape. But we're never referred to as black people.
what?
When they speak about the black community,
Mm-hmm.
from Hillary,
Right.
Trump does it, but he's racist. So when he does it,
Look at my African American friend.
He does it in a very racial tone. But it's not often that any politician really speaks to the black community directly. Here's what they say. When it comes to us and we make comments and we want to know about the Black Lives Matter movement, what do they group us all as one? Well, we'll take care of the minorities, the urban community. They never say the black community. All right, what we need to do for black people is this. We never get that. We're always grouped into the minority together. Like, okay, what we're gonna do for the minorities is this. What we're gonna do for the urban community is this. There's never a, hey, we understand black people are populated heavily in Detroit. We see the gentrification that's going on. And what we need to do is we need to help you guys somehow, and they actually have programs for it. But we got to make sure that you keep your homes in state. We got to make sure you keep your homes in the city. We also we need to put better education in Detroit. We need to make sure this is a problem. And you know what? This is number one priority, is to fix the education for the black people and make sure the black students in the city of Detroit are making it. Hell, you know what? Also, we it's just a lot of stuff we need to do for you black people.
So you're saying if they say black,
it would be more genuine.
it would be more genuine?
Oh yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
You know why is that? Because it's almost they refrain from saying it. They refrain from saying it so we didn't make you any promises. Hey, thanks for your vote.
I'm gonna quote Shakespeare for you. A rose or a pretzel, by any other name, still smells as sweet, or still as tasty. So if they said black, or African American, or urban, or whatever, actions speak louder than what?
But when you
Words.
say urban or minority, you group in everybody. So you are grouping Hispanics with us. You are grouping. This is not now. It's a difference. Shakespeare is Shakespeare. A rose is a rose. However, black people and Hispanics are two different cultures.
Yeah.
Asian is a different culture.
Yeah.
The Jewish community is a different culture.
Yep.
So now, if you put us all together, we are tulips, roses, dandelions.
Gotcha.
It's everything, and we the dandelions because we're getting the worst of it. So you can't say that a rose is a rose, no matter what you call it, because we are not roses. We are being shitted on.
That's what I'm saying.
If
We are rose or dandelion, we still getting what? Shitted on.
Refer to us as black people.
That's what I'm
saying. You know
saying.
why? Because if you refer to us as black people, you make us seem important. You make us seem that we do have an agenda. And I think the only way that we can have an agenda.
I feel what you're saying. I feel like we would feel important if we, as people, stuck together. And then when they refer to us as whatever they want to call us, dandelions, black people, or African Americans, or minorities, they would then address the issues that we would bring up as a people together.
How do we stick together? Because it's only one way that we can stick together. I see, because we can protest in the streets all we want to, and that shit don't work. One of the ways we can, that shit don't work. That shit don't work.
Hey,
Rioting,
it was some movement that we
rioting,
stuck together and it kind of worked. It's called Civil Rights Movement. Okay, after the Civil Rights Movement, then what happened? My people who was born from 55 to 69, like a lot of my people, like I take that back. 1965 to 69, where y'all at? What happened?
Here's what happened. You started chopping off the heads of the snakes, or not snakes. Let me take that back. You start chopping off the heads of the. You start knocking off the heads of the pillar. It's the art of war. There's certain things you do. You take away the top person. You take away the leaders. So if you take away a Martin Luther King, you take away a Malcolm X. Then you even go further. You go into the Black Panther movement.
Right.
I can't think of his name right now. But
he was 21.
But like you start taking away people that mean something.
Right.
Once you start taking away these people that mean something, here's what happens. Now you make people scared.
Right.
People are scared. But like a lot of people say civil rights didn't continue, but it actually did. There was a lot of people that actually started to make moves, but what they do, they incarcerate them or they find ways to deport them. It's certain things that happen that they find. So every time someone does come up, the 13th, they find a way. They find a way to make all that stop. You know, so I can't really go. I can't really say that we didn't try to stick together after that. It's just that. They make sure. The white supremacists make sure that we can never get ahead. But the way that we do get ahead, and the way that it has worked in the past, is the way that it has worked in the past. Pretty much the way it's worked in the past is financially. You have to hit the pockets. So we do have to spend our money within our own community. There are people that actually try to help us in our community. Well, there are certain things. If we kept everything strictly to where we're at within our people, it will have the financial gain to use that.
I feel you.
Use that.
I feel you. So, I ended with this. And what I meant by that, by the 1965 to 1969, was during that time, there was legislation that was created that caused this mass incarceration that was continued by politicians after politician. After some of our favorite politicians, Mr. Clinton, who also apologized for the legislation that he put in place that caused mass incarceration. And then the 13th
apology don't mean shit without action behind
right,
it.
exactly.
Anyway.
So then the main thing between the 13th Amendment is, okay, it did free the slaves, but then it also said a huge part of it was a slave could not be free if he had been convicted of a crime, if he was a criminal.
It also made sure that, like, okay, we freed the slaves, but we didn't free them into anything but poverty.
Right.
So
now
which is still continued.
Right. So now
a lot of people are born into poverty.
So the thing is,
it's a fucking continuing cycle.
So the thing is, the main pillars of the stumbling blocks that afflict my beloved melanated people, we were brought over here forcefully. We were enslaved. Then we were freed. Then there was a clause. Then we were denied education. So now the thing is, now we're uneducated, poor, and then the thing is now, what are we gonna do? Then we're getting arrested, false arrest, and then we're put back in slavery in terms of incarceration. That's the beginning. Then you fast forward now from that rough beginning. You take any other race, the family is in place, they come over, they're immigrants, yes, but they come over and that first generation, even if they mopping floors, the family's together. They're mopping the floor, dad's mopping the floor, mom's cleaning houses, and then they come the next generation because their family was intact, then it's better. That's all I'm saying. So these are stumbling blocks that we had to overcome. End of story. Speaking of immigrants, what's your boy Trump say about immigrants?
We're gonna take a break, man.
Take a break.
Yeah.
I gotta refresh this anyway.
Yeah, man. Moral of the story is, don't fall into that all lives matter bullshit.
All lives do matter.
Don't fall into that shit.
All lives do matter.
Don't fall into that all lives matter bullshit.
Okay. Just know
if there's a set agenda, do not allow anyone to completely take you off that path, because that's what they're trying to do. When you say all lives matter, you're taking away from
it's not
the original. You're taking away from the narrative of Black Lives Matter. That's the whole thing. Whenever you say all lives matter, blue lives matter. Okay.
Blue is not a life. Blue is an organization that has been infiltrated.
This is what I'm saying.
And diluted by racist.
That's what I'm saying.
Politicians,
the whole thing is
Ku Klux Klans member. Blue life is not a life.
But it's taken
all
away.
Human life does matter.
But see, it's taken away every time that shit is said. It does nothing.
Well, it's not.
Because it does nothing but take away. Because you know why? It brings another conversation to the mix that we're trying to have a discussion about why are unarmed black men, black women being killed.
Just because I say all lives matter doesn't mean I'm taking away from the severity.
It does.
Of lives being taken away from black men.
Whenever you bring
or women
anything
or
else,
children.
if I say we need to focus on this pretzel, and you say, but all pretzels matter. No, motherfucker, we trying to help this pretzel out, but you caring about everything else, this pretzel dies.
That pretzel is a part of a whole bag. All these pretzels matter.
We gonna just have to agree to disagree, because I mean, I really think that's one of the things that takes away from us is the fact that we cannot completely focus on one thing together. So when you say that all lives matter, you're feeding into the shit that they wanted us to feed into.
No.
You're really going into it.
If I said all black lives don't matter because all of the pictures that they put on the Black Lives Matters website, all of these poster childs, 99% of them did have a criminal past.
Let me tell you like
all
this.
of them did do some, why was they in the police anyway, blah, blah. That would take away from it.
No,
I'm just saying.
When you come in with that all lives matter, it completely negates the focus of why the whole Black Lives Matter was started. Black Lives was only started It was not a Black Lives Matter movement years ago. Why? Because they wasn't just getting killed cold blood. You mean you had some beatings here? I mean, yeah, hell, I wish a Black Lives Matter would have been around when Malice Green was
Rodney King.
I mean, Rodney King was beat down.
Yeah.
Malice Green, I'm fucking swinging the nets on fucking what's his name, but but Rodney King was beat down. Malice Green was killed.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, man.
Let me say this.
It completely takes away from the whole fight, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I do know. I just feel like it takes away from the whole fight whenever you add anything else into the mix. Fuck your talk. Here we go.